All right, today on the channel, we're going to take a look at the UNICO Pocket. This is the latest little handheld emulation device from UNICO, the makers of the Neo Geo MVSX arcade, as well as the Phoenix arcade monitor series, which are both great products. And it's probably a good thing that they have those to fall back on, because this isn't going to win them any awards. Packaging, very straightforward, bright yellow. UNICO logo up in the top right hand corner, an image of the Pocket handheld device. Up here we got some text that says 40 classics included and featuring, which basically just tells me whoever designed the packaging on here is not a native English speaker, because that's not a sentence and it doesn't list anything. On the back though, we have the full listing of the 40 games on here. It is officially licensed by SNK, so this is not, you know, some illegal emulation, albeit it is emulation because all these games are emulated on this device. Shouldn't be a surprise to you that this is not using original arcade hardware of any kind, but we get a nice mix of fighting games predominantly. That's the majority of the 40 classics, albeit there are some sports games, a couple of beat 'em ups, the Metal Slug series. So you got 1, 3, 4, 5, Metal Slug X. Instructions, not a whole lot to it. Basically, it just says this is what the buttons do in every single language, and that's it. There's no real instructions to be spoken about. USB-C charging cable, a little foam protector, and then we have the device itself. Power on the device. Go ahead and peel this screen protector. It's always satisfying to do that. We'll boot up, have the UNICO logo there. Takes about 10 seconds to get started. And here we have the user interface. Very easy to navigate, very straightforward, but let's talk about the design of this handheld first and foremost before we get into the games. Right out of the gate, you're gonna notice something very odd. We have 2 analog joysticks, which is extremely odd because none of these games use this secondary analog joystick. It is absolutely there for no reason whatsoever. It serves no function. It does nothing in any of the games. You can't even map it to do anything. Why it's even there, why it's wasting space, I have no idea. It is completely useless. We have our 4 buttons right here, which works great for Neo Geo games, A, B, C, and D. There is internal mapping options in the user interface, but it only applies to the shoulder buttons. So if you want to rearrange the A, B, C, and D buttons, well, you're out of luck. You can reconfigure the shoulder buttons and the inputs those make, and it works out great for fighting games if you want to do combos. But if you want to rearrange these front-facing buttons, you're out of luck, which seems like a massive oversight. Shoulder buttons, L1, L2, R1, R2, nice feel to them. Nice analog stick over here to the left, which it works great, but again, going back to the fact that we have an analog stick over here on the right for absolutely no reason is kind of silly. Up top, we have our power button, volume up and down. Speakers are located right here on the bottom here. Nice little vent. The way I hold it, naturally, I do end up covering the speaker hole a little bit, so you will have some kind of muffling sound effect when you are playing this game. UNICO branding, some nice textured gripping there. It does feel good in the hand. It's got a nice, you know, weight and heft to it. It doesn't feel like overly cheap and like it's gonna rattle and fall apart. So they did a good job on the construction. It's just, again, I'm kind of baffled at why we have buttons and joysticks that don't even necessarily need to be on this device. Bottom down here, we have our USB-C charging port, 3.5mm audio headphone jack out, and that is it. There's no HDMI out, there's no USB-C, you know, controller input, there's no Bluetooth, there's no Wi-Fi. I mean, this is about as no frills, no thrills as it gets. Very straightforward. Comes in 2 colors. It comes in this black colorway, comes in gray, and that's it. I think they kind of missed the boat with having the obvious bright red, you know, Neo Geo synonymous color there, but to each their own. So again, our 40 games, very easy to kind of go around and mess with. You just scroll, it's got an image, tells you the title of the game up top. No background music, nothing fancy with the user interface. Go up top into the gear, goes to your options. You can change the language, the screen brightness. It comes defaulted bright. This is as bright as it gets, which is suitable. It's an IPS display, it's 4 inches, it's 960 by 720 resolution, so it's a good looking display. Here's your key map options, so you can go and, again, reconfigure the button inputs should you wish. System, this is running software 1.0 and restore defaults. So if you just want to reset this thing back, that's all you get. And let's go ahead and pick up a game and I'll show you our little in-game options we have. We'll do Football Frenzy. boots up rather quickly. We have a select button over here that works as your coin input, and our start button's over here, so very straightforward. Every time I hit the select button, you'll see the screen blacks out. That's common on all the games. Hit start. I'll show you our menu option button down here, so push that. We have the option to exit the game, save the game, which is nice. So you have multiple save slots here, and it'll save it exactly where you're at. So it doesn't have to be in between levels or anything like that. Literally, the moment you hit that menu screen, that is where it's going to save you. So that's great for, boss battles and just taking a break wherever you need to. Same thing for loading the game. Just select that, pick your save slot, and it'll load it exactly where you stopped. Screen options, you can change between the different aspect ratios. In reality, these are the most minute changes ever because this is a 4:3 aspect ratio screen, so it's really only going to be a negligible change between full screen, pixel perfect, and origin aspect. Kind of silly. Scan lines, we got two options: vertical scan lines, horizontal scan lines, and that's it. These are universal changes, mind you, so if you go into scan lines, you turn on vertical, it's going to be vertical for every single game on there until you change it. That is it for the options. There's no options to do any kind of dip switch settings. So the Metal Slug series, there's not going to be any blood. All those games are sensors, there's no blood. There's no way to turn on the blood. There's no way to add games to this. You're stuck with the 40 games, which is not a bad deal. Like I said, this is, again, 40 licensed games. Unfortunately, though, unless you're just absolutely dead set on playing these specific 40 games on a handheld format, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense because there's other products out there like the Neo Geo Mini Arcade that has 45 games, has an HDMI out, has USB controller support, has a load of different options that you can customize the games, and it's the exact same price. This right now is on sale for $79.99. You can get the Neo Geo Mini Arcade for $69.99, and like I said, it does so much more than this. Go ahead and back out and I'll show you a couple of other quirks that I noticed. Exit the game, yes. So going down here, we'll go to the copyright. And this is, just legalese, but at the bottom there, it says, any software that has been licensed under the GNU General Public License versions 3 is strictly prohibited by law. So they didn't really do a whole lot of spell checking or just quality assurance before they shipped this out, it doesn't look like, because you got strictly spelled horribly wrong. And I know that is such a splitting of hairs type of complaint, but it just feels kind of silly when you got absolutely worthless analog joystick over here, misspelled things in your copyright, you got weird verbiage on your box art that doesn't make any sense, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with this device, but there's nothing necessarily great about it either. I don't really understand why it exists. All the other stuff that UNICO's put their name on has been pretty good. Like I said, the Phoenix Arcade series monitors are awesome. The Neo Geo MVX, great little home arcade for you. Good value, got 50 games on there. It's got all sorts of options that you can customize the games. This one, it's limited in the games, it's limited in how you can play it, because you can only play it on this handheld. There's no expansion capabilities, there's no way to add games. It's just, what you see is what you get. And I think what you see can be got on other devices for better values. If you don't care about the official license aspect of it, you can get an Ambernick handheld device off of Amazon for like $70 that plays thousands of games. If you really do care about the officially licensed aspect of it, I think, again, you'd still be better suited to get the Neo Geo Mini Arcade than you would this. So, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Is this something you're interested in? What changes would you like to see UNICO make on a future Pocket if they were to go out and revise this? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit that like button. Share this video with your friends if you found the information helpful. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. Really means a lot.